Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. Today we are talking about breath exercises, breath work, or maybe you've heard of it called pranayama. There's a lot of talk about breath work, and what I want to do is cover why breath exercises are so beneficial for your health and the foundation of breath exercises. What are they really? Just simply something to keep in mind, the foundation of breath exercises, how to do them, and how to incorporate them into your daily life. Because I really truly think that this is an area, it's so easy to use. You have your breath with you all the time. And you just have to learn to practice breathing. And I will talk about how we can breathe better. So why do we want to talk about breath exercises? Why are they so helpful? Well, they help you connect to yourself. It slows you down when you, like I said, you have your breath with you all the time and you're connecting with yourself, you're slowing down. It is part of you. Also, the breath exercises on a nervous system platform, they really help to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which I've explained before, and you've probably heard it, but I'll review it again. For those of you who may not know, the parasympathetic nervous system is part of a nervous system pathway that lowers your heart rate, lowers the respiratory rate, lowers the blood pressure to normalize it. This is indirectly correlated with the sympathetic nervous system, which is the heart rate rises, our blood pressure rises when we are feeling like in the fight, flight, freeze. That's when our sympathetic nervous system is activated. And with chronic stress or with high stress levels, your sympathetic nervous system is going to be highly activated. And we want to balance it out with activating instead the parasympathetic nervous system. When we take a deep breath, and I'll explain how this works, is when we take a deep breath, our vagus nerve is activated. The vagus nerve is a cranial nerve and it's innervated through the pharyngeal area in the throat area, all the way down through the body. And especially for breath, why we're focusing on the vagus nerve, is it innervates the diaphragm. And the diaphragm sits right underneath the lungs. And as you inhale and take a big inhale, the diaphragm lowers. And as you exhale, the diaphragm will just return back to normal. So when we're taking a deeper breath, when we're focusing on breath exercises, that will activate the diaphragm will change. Also, our whole torso area will expand and contract, and that will activate the vagus nerve. That's why the parasympathetic nervous system is activated. Now, back to why breathing exercises. So I gave you a couple reasons. Another reason is breathing exercises help you to focus and to pay attention. Often I will recommend my clients and my patients to use breath exercises. It helps them to concentrate. It also can be easier to do a breath work exercise versus meditation, because some people get squirrely. They can't quite meditate. They're not ready for it. Well, you can do a breath work exercise, which is a very gentle breathing exercise that can actually get you in a meditative state as well. Now there are many other benefits, but the last one I want to talk about is why breathing exercises are so helpful, is that it helps you can actually increase your energy by certain breath practices. You're breathing in oxygen. You're also activating different the nerve pathways and the cranial nerves. So certain breath practices have been shown to increase energy. And in yoga, when we teach yoga and I'm teaching a class or incorporating pranayama, which is the breath work, we can increase our energy, especially in something like Ujjayi breath or other breathing exercises. Throughout class, we can sit and do a specific breathing exercise, which will help calm and also energize. So breathing is, of course, a foundation. We all have to breathe. So everybody breathes, but most of us don't pay attention to how we're breathing. Most of us take a shallow breath. As a speech pathologist, I work with many people, some with voice, some dysarthria, which is a speech disorder. And breathing is the foundation, and having a good foundational breath is key. So I'm continually educating my patients for using good breath support. And most of them will start with the upper, like just taking a big breath. So right now, just if you took a big breath, if your shoulders are going up, it means that, well, you have tension there, but you're also just using the upper part of your lungs to really take in a breath. Instead, we want to take from our lungs, really go from the upper chest to just right above the rib, where the rib cage comes down. That's the two lung lobes are there, or there's a couple of lobes. But what you want to do is, as you inhale, think of the balloon. Like I always say to my clients, it's like a balloon is filling up as the air comes in, and the belly will extend because the diaphragm has pushed down with the inhale. And then the exhale, the belly comes in as we expel all of the air from the lungs. So the diaphragmatic breathing is a key part in really tuning into your breath support. If you're just taking like these little breaths, you're not activating that vagus nerve. And I think when some people are practicing, I see them like, oh, I'm going to breathe, I'm going to do the exercises. If you're breathing for inhaling 3 counts, and it's like, you're not activating this vagus nerve area. Instead, keep the hand on the belly, and as you inhale, the belly is going out, and see how my shoulders just stay calm or settled. They don't rise. So with this diaphragmatic breathing, very important. That's what a key thing is to remember. A foundation in breathing is to start with the diaphragmatic breathing. Now, some people do have a hard time in feeling that the belly go out. They feel a little discoordinated. So what I do is I have people put their hands on either side of their rib cage, just below the bra line. And the shoulders are down. So just take a regular inhale and exhale. And as you inhale, feel the rib cage. It opens up like an umbrella. I call it the umbrella breathing. 360. And then you exhale. And then with the exhale, the rib cage will come back in. That literally, the reason the rib cage is coming out and coming back in is because the lungs are expanding. They're pushing gently against the rib cage, and then they're contracting back or expelling all the air. And that's why the rib cage comes in. So I would recommend, as a foundation of breathing, is to start with that, or the diaphragmatic breathing. Do around 3 to 5 rounds of an inhale and exhale. That will help you. It really is important to realize also, with the inhale, when we're breathing in, we're bringing in oxygen, and oxygen is important for our cellular function. There are numerous reasons and ways that our body uses oxygen. But at the same time, when we exhale carbon dioxide, and we're exhaling the cool thing is I read this information that our fat, so if you're losing weight, your fat is released through the breath. Now, I'm not going to get into all the chemical pathway and how that happens, but I think that's pretty cool. Regardless, you want to exhale out. You want to exhale out all of the air. Think of inhaling and exhaling, so important for our body functions. Also, the other thing, the foundation of breathing, another interesting tidbit is that we breathe in and out of our nostrils, like one side and the other side at different times of the day. So we're not continuously always breathing in and out of both nostrils. They've shown through some research that sometimes we're breathing more through the left nostril, and then later in the day, more through the right. But when you're practicing these breath exercises, you want to think of inhaling through both nostrils, but just realize that it is normal that when we're not even paying attention, our breath cycle changes from one side of the nostril to the other, which is sort of cool. We do recommend inhaling through the nose, and the reason is that there's more of the vagus nerve that will be activated. And you can exhale through the nose. Some exercises will have you exhale through the mouth. So it just depends on the exercise, but definitely inhale through the nose. Traditionally, most of the exhale is done through the nose, in and out of the nose, but some breath practices have an exhale through the mouth, which you could do. Now, the other thing for the foundation of the breathwork practices, or pranayama, is we think it's just the inhale and exhale. I'm inhaling and I'm exhaling, but part of the breath work practices is the retention. So you can have inhale retention, or you could have exhale retention. The inhale retention means that after you inhale, you don't exhale right away. As you inhale, then you stop inhaling and you hold your breath. So we all know that. Hold your breath. And then you exhale. And after you finish exhaling, hold your breath there. And that's exhale retention. And then inhale and exhale. So there's some research that's shown that by practicing breath retention, inhaling retention or exhale retention, we can lower inflammation in the body. So these yogis have known this for years and years, that breath retention and breath practices can be so beneficial to the body's health and the brain health. We also know that when you're practicing retention, just think of it. If you have to retain the breath, meaning you're holding your breath, you're engaging mildly, you're engaging the core. So these breath exercises can actually help tone your core and your pelvis. I'm not going to get into a lot of the detail for it, but just to keep that in mind is that there are physiological benefits and physical benefits for this breathing. The point overall, the big takeaway on the foundation is you have the foundation now of the breathing exercises, and it may seem complicated, but it really is inhaling and exhaling, and you retain the inhale, or you retain the exhale, or you may not even retain. The variations are endless and the combinations are endless. The cool thing is like you do want to be guided initially through some of these breathing practices, but you can just start by counting in your head. I'm going to inhale for 3, hold for 3, exhale for 3, and then inhale for 3, hold for 3, exhale for 3. So that is an upside down triangle. That's how I teach it. There's also, I'm sure you've heard of the box breathing. That can be 4 to 5 counts of an inhale. You hold for 4 to 5 counts. Then you exhale 4 to 5 counts. And you hold your breath, the exhale retention for 4 to 5 counts. So you may be wondering, how long do I have to do these breath exercises? The benefit comes from at least 2 to 3 minutes. You want to do this 2 to 3 minutes. How many? So sometimes I'll set a timer. You can also just count the rounds. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll put the thumb and pointer finger. So if I'm sitting, imagine I'm sitting and I've got my eyes closed, and I'll practice that. Inhale for 3, hold for 3, exhale for 3. So I'm thumb to pointer finger, inhale, then hold, then exhale. Then I'll put the thumb to the middle finger, do another round. And that's how you can count the rounds. And I would suggest to do 10 to 20 rounds of any of the exercises. That should get you to around that 2 to 3 minutes. One word of caution. So doing 2 to 3 minutes of a breath exercise is very beneficial. You want to work up to maybe a bit longer, but there are some more extreme breath exercises. Wim Hof has a lot of his breath work exercises out there, and also you can research the detail of how to do Wim Hof. I'm not suggesting you do it, but I know some people do it. Word of caution is you want to do it with a guided teacher. I am not for that type of breathing. You want the guidance of the teacher because it is extreme. You can get lightheaded, out of breath, lightheaded. You have to be really aware with these extreme breathing exercises that I'm not recommending at this point. These are just foundation. What I'm recommending is foundational breathing exercises that are really the 3 to 5 counts. Sometimes the exhale could be twice as long, meaning 8 to 10 counts as you're exhaling. But there's nothing on the extreme side. I'm talking about the foundational breath exercises that you can easily do independently and safely. As always, I always do recommend to my clients and my patients, if you start feeling lightheaded, then you stop. And really, that maybe it's just 1 minute or 2 minutes you're doing it. But what we want to do a lot of times is that people are not filling their whole lungs. That's why I started with that diaphragmatic breathing. When people first start doing these practices, they're taking like almost hyperventilating, which that's what one of the breathing, extreme breathing practices does. I'm not recommending that. What I'm suggesting, taking the full length of the lungs. So you will have that inhale, you're taking in the oxygen and you're exhaling out. So that, I know that was like a lot of little information here and there, but we covered the foundation. We covered why breathing is so helpful. How can you apply it to your daily life? Well, I'll have, now on my YouTube channel, I do have a couple of examples of breathing exercises, and I'll be loading some more in through the next couple of weeks. But by practicing every day with some version of a breath exercise, you can do it before meditating, you can do it before yoga, you can do it before you go to work, you can do it as a break in between work. I really find I'm enjoying doing breath work, like it's probably 5 minutes or so in the afternoon. It helps to energize me if I need that. And at the end of the day, I've been doing the intentional sigh breath, which is helping to increase relaxation. And you may have heard this, but the intentional sigh is where you take a big inhale, then take another sip of inhale, and then, excuse me, exhale. You actually go for a really long exhale. Notice I exhaled through my mouth. The way I've been doing it, I have been exhaling through my mouth. You can do it through your nose. Play around with what works for you. And I'm doing that around 3 minutes. And it's on my Whoop that this is a setting. It's part of the stress monitor. And if you're interested in checking out the Whoop, they have the special where you can try it out for free for a month. They send you a band and it monitors your sleep, your heart rate variability, your strain, your stress. I've really been enjoying using it. And I've been monitoring how my stress and how my HRV is affected and my sleep by doing a variety of habits. And one of them is this later in the day, just almost before I go to sleep, doing that breathing exercise. I'm checking to see if that changes how my sleep is, but overall I can do the breathing exercises throughout the day. So if you're interested, check the show notes. There's a link there. You can look into the Whoop if you're interested in checking it out. Back to though, when and how to add in breathing exercises. Don't complicate it. Aim for 2 to 3 minutes every day. If you want to increase your energy, try it during the day. If you want to use it to help with relaxation, try it at the end of the day. If you have a meeting coming up that you're really sort of stressed out about, before you start with the meeting, practice your breathing exercises. The different examples of breathing exercises, think of them like geometric shapes. I talked about the upside down triangle. There's the box. There's the regular triangle. So you could inhale for 3, exhale for 3, and hold your breath. Hold the exhale for 3. So that's one. Now I'm recommending 3 counts, but you could do 5. You could inhale for 5, exhale for 5, and hold your breath on the exhale retention for 5. You could also think of a circle. So I'm going to do an inhale for half of the circle, and then an exhale for the other half of the circle. These all can be easily done. You don't have to listen to any guidance. Just picture that shape in your mind and start your practice. If you'd like you can always Google different breathwork practices. For sure, you can do that, or check on my YouTube channel. I do have the Nadi Shodhana, which is the alternating breath work exercises. And like I said, I'll be adding in a couple more as I go through the next couple of weeks, month to 2 months or so. I hope you have enjoyed this. Make sure that you're subscribed to the podcast, however you're listening to it, or if you are watching it on YouTube, make sure you subscribe so you can take a look at the yoga classes that I've been posting, the podcasts, the other just fun videos that I'll be posting. Follow me over on Instagram and let me know if you have any questions. Share this with anyone who you feel would benefit from hearing about the breath practices, and start improving your life. And have a great day, everyone. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.